Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the very first episode of the Pathos series. Now, normally, I would be making an analytical video about the state of certain video games, game characters, game stories, or certain companies, as well as anime characters, stories, and companies, and their decisions which lead them to the state that they are in. But this one's a special case because of the idiocy of the Paul brothers, which happens to be known worldwide, figuratively and literally, over the weekend. On one hand, you have Jake Paul with his constant clickbait thumbnails and titles, but also setting his own damn pool on fire. And on the other hand, you have, as recently, Logan Paul disrespecting Japan and all of its cultures and going into the suicide forest and taking a picture of a dead person. And, sorry, my alarm went off back there. But, all in all, while I would point this out, they aren't necessarily the focus of this video. No. The focus is the company that allows them to do this sort of stuff. The focus is the company that's trying so hard to be family friendly that every time it does, some rogue or some rebel rouser just shows up, garners a lot of popularity, and then does something stupid. It is a never-ending trend. Whenever a big YouTuber hits it big, they do something stupid which makes everyone look bad. And that normally would be on the fault of the YouTuber, but it's actually on the fault of YouTube itself. Yes, this Pathos is on YouTube itself. Now, some may think of it as a video of me criticizing and complaining about YouTube, but they brought most of this on themselves. The day that they ever decided to take the knee to Viacom was the worst decision they've ever made in their lives. More importantly, even more of a worse decision is allowing Susan Wojcicki to take over the site as CEO. Now, let me explain as to why this is a terrible thing. She has already been over a video site that was owned by Google, and she let it go to waste. She is also the intelligent person, and I put that in air quotes, who thought it was a good idea to, mind you, allow family-friendly content into this site, but not to mention, at one point, integrate Google Plus with YouTube, making it mandatory, not optional, mandatory to do so. And since then, I, up until recently, had an inactive site, which honestly doesn't garner much attention until now, and I'm going to fix that problem because there's no reason for me to have a dead site and not do anything with it. But the point is, with all these restrictions, these changes, these constant updates, these constant algorithm switches, that keeps bringing people who try to make it big on this site down. Needless to say, YouTube has dug itself a literal hole. And now with the whole Angela Merkel putting in an enforcement over in Europe for content that certain council members in her cabinet don't approve, they either have 24 hours to remove it, or else that website will be fined $1 million. Yeah, YouTube has definitely allowed themselves to be dug in a hole that they cannot get out of. Well, let's be honest, folks. It is high time for some changes to be made. And by changes, I mean, for one, get rid of Susan Wojcicki. She has been nothing but a detriment to this site. She is also the reason why the Pauls are doing whatever they want. ever since she claimed CEO-ship, there have been a lot of political videos on the rise, be it left or right. I have nothing against political views. However, she censors one side and let the other does what they want, unless they do something completely stupid, like, for instance, murder, which is far worse than filming a dead body. Far worse. However, one of the decisions that she made also needs to go, and that is the implementation of YouTube Heroes. Not gonna lie, YouTube Heroes was a terrible decision, and it allows people who normally wouldn't get the time of day the power to do whatever they want to people, whether they're innocent or guilty. And there's no way to control those type of people. They will just sit back and deem videos whether unviewable or viewable, and now with this new algorithm, it'll make it easier for them to do that. People who will just start on YouTube or just get a head start on YouTube will be below the bottom of the rung, and people who have been here long, like myself, will be struggling to barely even get one view. I don't think you understand the situation, Susan. You pretty much made things worse for people to start on YouTube unless they actually have to cheat the system and actually buy viewbots. You take away honor. And guys like the Pauls are one of the examples why this site has no more honor. Well, at least for people who are trying to get ahead. I mean, let's face it, the Pauls are not an original act. As a matter of fact, Prank Invasion did the exact same thing they did worldwide, and most of their members are in jail in London right now. So, what they're doing is not original, and on top of that, as much as they try to put out rap songs and diss tracks, I hate to burst their bubble, but there's more talented people than they are that actually made it big. Granted, one such person that made it big from this site also does stupid things, and his name is Justin Bieber. Even he mellowed out to a certain degree. And that's saying a lot. But the point is, I'm not just ranting and rambling. I'm just bringing up certain stuff about how unoriginal these guys are, and they're personal friends of Susan Wojcicki. And do you see where I'm coming at with this? It all comes full circle. Because YouTube Heroes are also personal friends of Susan Wojcicki. Among those personal friends are BuzzFeed, which is why some of the things they do, which is breaking YouTube's terms of service, they have gotten away with it over the years. And the one thing that actually angers me the most, whenever there's signs of contempt towards this site, wherever there is signs of the mainstream media trying to capitalize on the attempt to get rid of YouTube, there is still the fact that Susan will go to bat to try to please the mainstream media, as opposed to at least sticking to the creators. She will never side with her creators unless they're her personal friends. Then she will do everything in her power to go to bat for them. Like, censor everyone who has actually criticized Jake Paul's video. Or Logan Paul's video, for that matter. The point being, there should be no nepotism towards YouTube or creator bias. All creators are made equally. All creators can bring just about as much entertaining content as they possibly can. In their own way, they are all what make YouTube YouTube. Not the ads, which she's so worried about leaving. Not the mainstream media, which, despite their chances and their hit pieces to try to destroy YouTube, every single mainstream media outlet who has thrown an attack on YouTube also has a YouTube account. And also, despite the fact that Vivo has also broke terms and services with YouTube, made multiple accounts that altogether dwarfs PewDiePie, who is actually the highest solo YouTuber, but all of the Vivo accounts together makes pretty much 3 times as much as PewDiePie, and she will let them do whatever they want while micromanage PewDiePie, even though PewDiePie does do some stupid stuff. Not gonna lie, it is really stupid, but at least it's nowhere near as harmful as the Pauls or Vivo. The point is that I'm trying to get, it needs a complete overhaul. Instead of making it a complete overhaul to screw over the creators, turn this site back to the way it was before all the DMCAs ran rampant, before the apocalypses happened, and more importantly, before Susan Wojcicki put her hand into this site and ruined it beyond repair. And if the news don't like it, you could just simply deplatform them before they deplatform you. I mean, they do have channels on this site. Again, I'm going to state that. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, so long as Susan tries to make the site family friendly, there's always going to be someone that's going to break the norm just because they're a bunch of dumb motherfuckers. And there's always going to be someone who's going to have multiple subscribers. There are generally funny guys who earn thousands, even millions of subscribers. Generally funny guys who don't just screw over their YouTube fan base like talking about it. I'm not just tooting my own horn and I don't have 1,000 subscribers, but I know a lot of people who do and who are generally funny and generally awesome. Turn your attention towards them and let the Pauls and every one of Susan Wojcicki's best friends, yes, that includes Anita Sarkeesian and Cat Black, let them rot and let them die away, because let's face it, the only way that the content creators are going to be effective is if they actually take a stand against Susan Wojcicki and her problems that she's causing. But more importantly, the only way YouTube is going to actually strive is if the content creators make it strive. And here's a little hint: no matter how much you try to make this family friendly, Susan, word of God, no family wants their kids to try to be YouTubers. They'll let them watch YouTube, but they won't let them be YouTubers. Even Dr. Phil, who is so out of touch that he can't even keep his own relationship in check, says that being a YouTuber is bad. And Jake Paul and Logan Paul are prime examples as to why YouTube has gone the way it has. Because it favors nepotism over hard work or good editing skills or also original content. This is RVMan985, and Susan, let this pathos be a lesson that you need to think about your life and think about your career, because one day Google will probably do a complete overhaul, and when they do, instead of you finding yourself in Silicon Valley, you'll find yourself in the unemployment line.